Good morning, everyone. For the record, it is February 10th, 2022, however you say that. And this is our ongoing business development advisor training that we do every single week. And today we are going to be talking about a question that usually every single agent asks at some point. And we are going to provide an answer for it here in a open forum discussion on it. But Jake, you probably know that question, but what is, don't answer it, Jake, but for everyone else, what do you think the question is that usually at some point every agent asks of us, or asks the question of what do you guys think it is? Every agent will ask this, typically. Has to do with their business and how they grow it.
Okay, well, I don't know, but I'm just going to throw something out there.
Go for it.
Okay, so maybe something along the lines of, how can you help me? What can you do that's different than anyone else, but how can you help me?
That is very, very close. And then there's one thing specifically that they're going to ask help with. All right. This is painful.
Make more money or grow or.
Yeah, I mean, more money is the end result of this. What does every agent need to be able to do their business?
Reach more clients.
There you go. That's what it is right now. Usually the way that this is asked is, how are you going to get me in front of more qualified prospects? That's typically a form of the question that everybody is going to ask. Most agents are going to ask at some point. And so we have to have some form of answer for this. We have to, we've done something shortly on this many months ago. But I wanted to rehash this conversation because this is something that is a conversation that everybody has, and everybody has their own different answers for it. And so I want to have a little bit of open discussion about how we can answer it and some of our solutions, some of your solutions that you can have in your back pocket. So right now, without me going over anything, what would you, if someone asks you, hey, how do you get me more leads? Do you guys have a lead program? What are your recommendations? Without any, like I said, that's what the training is going to be on, but without me saying anything right now, what would you say to that answer right now? It doesn't have to just be an answer. It could be a conversation, but I'm going to let you guys talk. How would you answer that right now? If someone asked you, David, I called you and said, David, love to work with you, love to get the contracts. That sounds great. Hey, how do you have any ways to get me in front of more qualified prospects? What would you say to that?
Well, I would say I would help you to have different opportunities to offer the prospects that you do have to better serve them. For example, you could be in contact with people that you already know who could benefit from an AIG product or an FG product. And I can help you to understand and explain, do illustrations for those to expand your work with them. I don't see that we specifically provide leads per se. We provide access to agencies and contracts to help you expand your business with existing people. And if you encounter somebody new, then you have that also to offer to them. Mm-hmm. I mean, I wouldn't say it like that because that's not kind of a agent prospect friendly way of saying it, but yeah, I would massage the language to do that.
I understand that, but that's a good point. So that's one area that you can definitely go down. And so, well, having the conversation about helping and not just providing leads, but providing more opportunities for their existing book. So let's go over that part, because that's still a good concept and idea, because what is the end result of what they're trying to do? Why are they asking you for more leads? Someone already said it. What's
I
the
think
end
David
result
said
of
it,
more
but
leads?
it's to grow, right? I mean, they're just trying to grow their business. They're trying to make more money, bottom
There
line,
you
whether
go.
it's one person or 1,000 people.
Yeah. So the basic premise of why they're asking for leads is because that makes more money for them.
Mhm.
So make that very simple. So if the end result is more money, if you can show them a different way to make more money, then they're getting to the same end result. So one answer that we could go down is exactly what you said, David, is I can help you create more stickiness with your clients and give you access to more product lines, more technical terminology, vertical marketplaces that you can offer your clients. And then you can walk through an activity that would go through that. So for example, if you're talking to a life insurance agent, what's another vertical line that they're probably not doing that you can easily give them access to with the carriers that we have, to allow them to sell more with their to their clients? What's another line that they can do?
Long-term care.
Long-term care, absolutely. So you can have that conversation and go down that path. So long-term care, any other areas?
There's always like the utilization of annuities to accomplish, some of the income, other purposes that you might have with their life insurance.
Absolutely. So annuities, and then to fill in a couple of blanks. So life insurance agent, you can talk to. So we have a webinar in 2 weeks on this. You guys might not be familiar with these product lines right now, but ancillary products. So like cancer policies, critical illness policies, and things like that. That's another product line. Those are called ancillary products. We have access to those as well. So think within that context of, okay, yes, Mr. Agent, Miss Agent, the reason that you're asking me for more leads, of course, is you want to make more money. Is that correct? Yes. If I can show you a way and give you access to other vertical marketplaces that you're not currently doing and give you the ability to sell them and show you kind of the direction of what that looks like to be able to sell those policies to your clients, would that be something that would be worth your time, where I can put more money in your pockets for the clients that you already have? And they're going to be like, oh yeah, that'd be great. So and then you can go down those product lines of, so what is your main focus? Do you offer annuities? How much annuity production do you do? Do you offer ancillary products? Going down that path. Does that make sense to everyone?
Yes.
So
Yep.
That's one answer of how do you get me in front of more qualified prospects is, well, let's start, and there's a lot of ways you can go about doing that. I'm just giving you guys some nuggets, because if someone asks you that question and you're going to go down the path of showing them to sell other product lines, then you're going to want to answer the question with a question. So they ask you, how do you get in front of more leads? Well, you said, well, before we talk about leads, I'm assuming the end result of what you're trying to get leads for is to make more money. Is that correct? Yes. If I can show you a way to make more money with your existing book of business, would that be something that would be interesting to you? And then you go down that path. And now you've flipped the script. You've given yourself control of the conversation more than the agent just pummeling you with questions. And that's one way that you would be able to earn their business and have them write more business then with the contracts that we have. All right. So before we go on to another one of those answers, any questions on that of offering a different vertical line? Everyone clear on that?
Mm-hmm.
Great. So that's one area, and that's super simple. Don't overcomplicate it. And if you need help, just give us a call. We can help out with that. If you have an agent that, is asking that question and you decide to go down that path. All right, so that's one answer. Okay, so same thing. Someone asks you, yeah, how do you get me in front of more leads? Let's see, Jody, I'll pick on you for a second. How would you answer that question?
How would I get in front of more leads?
Yeah,
I'd probably direct them to that list that you gave us on band.
there you go. I was definitely going to go through that list. That's perfect. So I apologize.
Bless you.
So let me pull up that list. And I'm going to, so this list is on band. It's our lead vendor list. Let's see. Okay. All right, so this is our lead vendor list. Now, this is nothing fancy, and it doesn't have tons of stuff on here, but here's the line for us when we always talk about leads, especially lead vendors. We make it clear with everyone that we are not a lead vendor. Why do you think we say that?
Because lead vendors are terrible people and everyone hates them.
I mean, that's putting it a little rough, but
Everyone hates them because they have terrible experiences at one time or another of spending money for leads that don't pan out at all, and they feel gypped, cheated, and wasting their money.
I mean, Jake's putting it a little bluntly and roughly, but yes. Jake, you may have heard from someone that have said that before, haven't you?
Once or twice,
Once or twice.
or a lot of times.
So long story short, what Jake is saying is absolutely true. So, and Debbie, I don't know if you've heard Yvette talk about lead programs and stuff like that, because she's gotten burned before as well. But regardless, that is a lot of agents' experience, is that at some point in their career in them purchasing leads, they've had good experiences and they've had bad experiences. And of course, as humans, we remember the bad experiences more than we remember the good experiences. So lead vendors they're a dime a dozen. There's tons of them out there. Some of them are really shady and don't deliver what you're actually looking for. And agents have just thrown money at them, and it's a bottomless pit. And other ones have, there's good batches of leads, there's bad batches of leads. It all is just a timing thing and using them consistently. But regardless, that's the reason that we make that line. We are not a lead vendor. We have vetted lead vendors, and by vet, we mean that the agents that we work with, they have brought lead vendors to us that they have had great experiences with, that have delivered what they promised, and try to be transparent as possible with the leads that they're giving. And those are the places that then we put on our list so that they can get access to them. But we do make that line. These are third-party vendors. We don't get any money from these places. There's no referral fee, but some of them we get discounts on. All right. So I'm not going to go through a lot of these in detail, but this is in the BDA AMO materials as the lead vendor list. And there's some great ones that are on here. So tips, tricks, and closers is number one on here because they are a very, very well-respected lead vendor mainly in the final expense arena, but they also do, they have Spanish leads, but they're mainly final expense leads. So lower premium amounts if you are in the final expense agents or agents that are looking for a way to make some extra money and cross-sell into other things. TTC, tips, tricks, and closers, great place. Our contact is Jeremy Underwood. They have a website. We get a discount on those leads. Here's a sample ad, so you can click on all this stuff. So these are already built in. So this is what the ad is that they actually send out to earn the leads. But this is what that looks like. So tips, tricks, and closers, one place, really good relationship with them. We like them. Benepath is another lead source. So they're the type of leads that they sell. Individual health leads, insurance leads, basic life insurance leads, Medicare Advantage, commercial leads. So Need a Lead is another company. It's just a final expense place. Nancy Ella, that's a direct contract. She's been doing leads for over 20 years. She does lots of different types of leads. And then we have, this is just a list of other places. We don't have as direct of a relationship with these places, but we know agents that use them and do a phenomenal, they like their lead programs. There's a few of them that we have to add on here. For example, we did a webinar a few months back on the Trained Advisor, which is a LinkedIn lead generation tool that agents can generate their own conversations. We also have another gentleman by the name of Yehuda. He's doing YouTube leads. He's actually doing a trial with a few of our agents right now. So we'll see how those pan out, but he has a good reputation within the industry. But those are kind of the things that we're doing on our end of, if we're having a direct conversation and we want to show them, hey, here's some recommended lead sources, check them out, send over the list, and make it clear this is their, this is something that they can talk about. They have a direct relationship with the lead vendor. It's not going through us. They're not purchasing leads through us. We're not asking them for any money. None of this, nothing like that. So, questions on these lead sources, like this lead vendor list.
So Nathan, you would pick and choose particular ones to share with them. You wouldn't share with them this list. You would do what? You would share with them this document. You would do what exactly?
I would usually just send over the list and say, hey, here's a list of our approved lead vendor list. As you'll see a bunch of different types of leads on there. Feel free to contact those people directly, and they will get you'll have that conversation. They can show you everything they want, but I would send this list out.
You say you would send this document out?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. If you want to help them through the list, you can spend a little bit more time on it. But very much here is the places that we have, and you can ask them questions too of, so what type of leads are you looking for? Well, if they say we're looking for final expense leads, you can copy and paste this information, or tips, tricks, and closers. Well, I would recommend this place. So there's ways that you can do it. I typically send them the whole list so that they can see the approved vendor list.
Okay.
But then having that extra conversation of, what type of leads are you looking for? Have you done leads before? What has been successful in the past? Those are all consulting questions that go into understanding their business a little bit more and making a proper recommendation. Now, here's the other thing about this. Use this as a tool to earn their contract. So if you haven't earned, if they haven't given you a carrier contract yet, you're not sharing this document with them from the very, very beginning. You want to keep it a little close to your chest, because the idea being is that, and you can be very clear with them, is I'm here to be able to earn, some of your carrier contracts. Would love to support you in your business. We do have some lead vendors and things that we have relationships with, and some of them will give you discounts. But we do that for the agents that are contracted with us with at least one contract. So, Mr. Agent, can I earn one carrier contract right now? And which one does that look like? So use it within that context, because if you just give this to them, then you have nothing to be able to go back to them with afterwards and say, hey, can I get that, carrier contract? Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Yes.
All right, so that is, like I said, these are great places. Any other questions about this list?
Not necessarily this specific list, but I mean, I would be curious to know, what are areas that are tentatively more, shall we say, lead intensive, like this, more lead driven versus not purchase lead driven.
Explain that one more time.
Well, like for example, I know, or I shouldn't say I know. Everything is I've learned over time that final expense is very much like, I don't even know if I've ever heard of anything outside of final expense being buy your leads for the week or buy your leads for the next couple days and work your leads. Buy your leads for the week or the next couple days and work your leads. Rinse, wash, repeat for the entire existence of you doing final expense. Whereas I'm going to venture a guess, something like annuities isn't lead intensive, isn't, hey, I want to go get, I'm going to, I want to sell annuities. So I'm just going to go drop $1,000 and buy a bunch of annuity leads. I'm assuming annuities are much more so referrals and cross-sell and click funnel driven type stuff. And so that's where I'm just curious in knowing what are, like, because basically having the conversation, I don't just want to say, oh, well, or I don't think we should just say eventually, well, yeah, let's talk about leads real quick. I mean, if we hear that, again, their focus is, well, I want to do annuities. What I think I heard you say, Nathan, before, that annuities are like one lead is anywhere between $200 to $500.
Yes. Yeah. I understand what you're saying that side. So the two areas that are the most lead intensive, and you've already expressed it, is final expense. That is, the whole final expense business is designed around purchasing leads. When you get the advance commission, you're taking, or when you get your commission, you're taking a portion of your commission and you are allotting that to purchasing more leads every single month or every single week, every single other week. And it is designed around purchasing consistent lead flows. So final expense agents, if you ever run into them, they are always going to be looking for sources. They probably already have their sources to develop and get their own leads. So that's one area that is lead intensive. Another area that's lead intensive is mortgage protection. So these are, to explain mortgage protection, because when I say mortgage protection to everyone here, what does everyone typically think of?
Term insurance.
Yep. So Jake has already been inundated to the insurance industry. So when he hears mortgage protection, that's what he think of. Let's ask, hey, Debbie, when I say mortgage protection, what do you think of?
I think you're going to protect my mortgage.
That's exactly it. So that's what I was looking for, Debbie. Mortgage protection is a very, 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 very markety term for the insurance industry, selling term insurance or sometimes permanent life insurance to homeowners, that in case something happens to them and their income disappears, death, disability, things like that, that they can leverage their death policy to pay for their mortgage. Mortgage protection within the rest of the industry is actually a bank-owned policy that protects the bank, that if someone defaults on their loan, then the bank is going to get their money still. It's usually built into mortgages. I believe if there's less than 10 or 20% down, something like that. But mortgage protection under that context of homeownership does not actually protect you as the homeowner, it protects the bank. So really quick, just definition there. But the way that mortgage protection is talked about in the life insurance field is that term insurance concept of you have a 25-year mortgage, you have $250,000 left on that mortgage. We should protect that mortgage within the concept of getting term insurance, that if you pass away before you finish the mortgage or something else happens, you have a death benefit, that your family is not going to go homeless because the main breadwinner's income all of a sudden disappeared because of that. So that's the idea of mortgage protection. Mortgage protection is extremely lead intensive because it's very easy to find homeowners. You can go to, there's lead vendors that go to the county, and you can get a list of, all the new homeowners and stuff like that. And that's why new homeowners get a bunch of mailers for a zillion different things. But that's where those leads come from. And that's another big lead source that people purchase is mortgage protection leads. So that's another place. Any questions on that? That makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's mortgage protection. Other areas that are very lead intensive are health insurance. And that could fall into the category of Medicare leads. So over 65 clients for Medicare supplements or Medicare Advantage, or under 65 clients, marketplace plans, individual health insurance plans and things like that. A lot of health insurance agents purchase leads within that concept. And then also P&C agents selling auto and home insurance or commercial insurance. That is a lead intensive business as well. Now, as Jake mentioned, the financial planning lead generation is a very expensive marketplace. As Jake already said, average lead for like an annuity lead, or someone selling a maximally funded life insurance, or someone working with a financial advisor, those leads are typically going to go from anywhere between $200 to $500 per lead. So that can get very expensive for an agent if they run into a bad batch of leads, because usually you have to purchase anywhere between 10 to 20 leads minimum. So you buy 20 leads at $300 a pop. That's $6,000. Correct? Yes. If an agent doesn't make an ROI on that $6,000, that means there's $6,000 out of pocket. Do you guys think an agent can do that indefinitely?
No.
No. So that is something that is definitely, unsustainable, and that's where agents, especially that, are going to get burned. So suffice to say, the more transactional sales and simple policies, very lead intensive, higher end clients and things like that, not agents find them through networking, talking with influencers, creating funnels and things like that, or creating different offers. So let's take a step back. You now have answers for those transactional sales, because going back to our lead vendor list, we have final expense leads. We can do, basic life insurance leads. We can do life insurance, mortgage protection leads and stuff like that. We can do everything on there. And then the other people that we have, like Yehuda and Tyson at Trained Advisor, those people, like the LinkedIn lead stuff that Tyson does at Trained Advisor, he teaches people how to create what's called a click funnel that uses LinkedIn to generate higher net worth client leads and conversations so that they can convert those into sales. If you guys are looking for information on that, we did a webinar on our YouTube channel, and let's see. Train. Let's see if I can easily pull it up. So, and here's his YouTube channel. And he has a bunch of stuff on here. I'm actually looking for, I'll do it this way. Anyways, we did one and a training on that. You guys can look that up. Phenomenal information. There we go. So there's that video. So you can just go to our video library and you can find that information on there. So we did a trained advisor one. He did a phenomenal job, great information. And we have people that use this service right now. Okay, that is for higher net worth clients generating those type of leads. So that's kind of the lead vendor list. So right now, what we've discussed so far is answers to that question is one, helping them cross-sell their business into other vertical lines, which we have access to, therefore generating more money, therefore going around the question of how we generate more leads, because we're going to help them produce more money. And through that, they should be able to get more referrals from that as well. Number two is the lead vendor list that we have. We have lots of different lead vendors. I will make a note to add Tyson trained advisor on there on that list, as well as Yehuda, so that we have his contact information and what they do, so that that's on that document as well, because that's our kind of master document for lead vendors. As a note on the lead vendor list, if as you're talking to agents and expanding your network and agents come to you and you get to know them and they say, hey, I've used the XYZ place, they're really phenomenal. We can, you pass that on and you let us know, we'll vet them. We'll have conversations with that group and we can add them on that list so that we have kind of a, in essence, a master list of approved lead vendors that are transparent, that follow through, that agents can get access to, and BDAs like yourself can have a very simple answer and one place to go for all different types of lead sources. Does that sound good? Yes, yes, it sounds good, Nathan.
Yes.
All right, so those are the two areas. Let's talk about the third area of answering that question. So the next area is talking about referrals. Really quick on that side, I mean, how good do you think most agents are at getting referrals? What would you guys say to that?
One extreme or the other.
I would agree with that. Any other feedback?
I have no idea.
I'd agree with Jake. They either have a good process for seeking referrals that they use all the time and therefore get some results, or maybe make a brief ask and let it go and don't get results.
Yep, absolutely. And I would agree with the extreme nature of it. Is there are agents that are phenomenal at it because they're consistent within their message. They always ask. They have a process of how they ask for that. And then there's other agents that are terrible at it. They don't have a system. They don't have a process. They're not consistent, et cetera, et cetera. And I would say, based on my experience and just statistically speaking as well, that most agents are terrible at it, not great at it. So that's one area of opportunity within a consulting conversation. Someone asks you about more leads. The area that you can turn to in having that conversation is, well, let me ask a different question, because leads are always the first thing on most agents' minds. Right now, with your current book of business, how many referrals do you get right now? And just have that conversation. See what they say. All right, so you say you get, a handful of referrals and you have 100 clients right now. Do you think that that is a good number? Do you think that you can improve upon that? And, if I can say, well, I can probably improve, great. Right now, do you have a system in place to get referrals? No, I don't have a system in place to get referrals. Blah, blah, blah. That's the consulting question. You're setting up the conversation of saying, well, I think one of the areas that we can help you out in is helping you get more referrals. And so I'm going to set up we're going to have a very simple conversation about how you do that. And there's multiple different ways. And there's some really phenomenal ones. So I'm going to give you guys a few pointers that these are freebies for agents, kind of, that many agents aren't implementing. This is right down to keeping your back in your brain when someone asks that question. So in getting referrals, one way that has been extremely successful in me in my past when I was writing business and the agents that I worked with is what's called an emergency contact sheet. So all that is a very simple sheet of saying, if something were to happen to you, Mr. and Mrs. Client, who would you want to know first in case of emergency? And you put 10 people on there because you're looking for the referrals, and all it is name, email, phone number, and who they are to that person. So it's a very simple sheet. Anyone can create it. You can build it within a CRM system as well. But all they're doing is asking questions. So emergency happens, who are you contacting? And let's list 10 people out so that they know what that looks like. And they're going to give family and friends and things like that. And then the next piece of what you're asking then is, okay, would you give me permission? And this is after they already have the client, like they've sold a policy of some sort. Would you give me permission to touch base with these people and just say hi and let them know that they're on the emergency contact sheet, because I'm your agent of record, which means if something happens, then they're going to, of course, notify me. And I would hope that you would give me a call so that I can help you and your family out through that process and how to process and get the benefits that you have already received. And this applies to life insurance, annuities, health insurance, ancillary product. It does not matter what the product line is. It's just, I'm your agent of record. I'm going to help you and your family out, make sure they get the benefits that we have already put in place here. And then you're asking permission, the agent's asking permission to get access to those people to say, hey, just, I'm the agent on record for, Bob Jones. And he just wanted me to touch base with you and say hi and introduce myself, because in case something were to happen, which no one loves to talk about, I'm the person that would be able to help out, get the benefits that, Mr. Jones has put in place. And then, of course, you're having the conversation, and then you ask a sales question is, out of curiosity, do you have things in place? Do you have an emergency contact sheet yourself? So the agent can take it from there. You don't have to be, once you go down the path of the emergency contact sheet and just name, email, phone number, who they are to that person, and teaching the agent how to do that, that is a great freebie that gets them more names and numbers, more people to talk to that are warm within the warm network. And it's a very passive way. You're not being too intrusive on being able to ask the question of getting a referral for a sale. You're getting a referral for an emergency contact. And that has worked very, very well in the past. Any questions about that methodology?
Oh, good idea.
So that would be something that I would implement. Anybody else have anything on that one specifically? So outside of that, before I go into another one, is there anybody else that has any referral methodology or things that they've used in the past on their end? To get referrals? Nope, nobody?
I'm probably in the bad group.
What'd you say?
So we might be in the bad group, not the good group.
That's
We're in the learning group, David.
Jake might be in the good group, but
there you go. Well, Jake gets the advantage of being in the office, so he just, through osmosis gets information from everyone around here.
Debbie's right. We're in the learning group. That's a better way.
There you go. That
Yeah.
is absolutely a better way of putting it. Another area that you can use then to get referrals is just be very, you can create a referral system and actually give the people that give the referrals, give them money. Now, every state is different. Typically, it's anywhere between $20 to a maximum of $100 to an unlicensed person for getting a referral. But basically just putting out there that they can do that and have get a referral, or rather the client gives them a referral, and then they give, gift cards for every referral that they get. Now, usually the premise is that they have to give a referral. When they give the referral, they have to give that money just for the referral itself. As in, it doesn't matter whether it closes or not. It's just, if they give a referral, then they give a $20 return. So if someone gives, 10 referrals, then they would give them, $200 basically. And if that agent closes one sale, then that makes them way more than those referrals. So that's another super simplistic, but there are people that are definitely money motivated and would have the ability, an agent spending $200, $500 on a warm network referral, and specifically tell them what they're looking for. Like, I'm looking for XYZ type of client. Who do you know in their network that is like that? Or, hey, I just helped you, with these policies. Who do you know that would love this type of help? And get the referral and say, just, when I get referrals, I hand out $20 per referral. So if you give me 10 referrals right now, I'm going to give you 10 or a gift card for $200 for each one of those referrals. And not all clients bite at that. I think statistically it's only about 33% of clients give, or people in general give referrals just freely. But that's another great system, and that $200 is a heck of a lot better spent. Or even if it's, they bump to $50 for 10 leads, that $500 is a heck of a lot better spent on their client than on purchasing a lead batch that they have no connection with and is a complete cold call. So put out that idea and concept of passing off referrals. That's another area that works. It's super simple. You can give a gift card, you can write a check, even. It's just it's a marketing referral fee, and it cannot be tied directly to the amount of commission that the agent earns. That's why they typically have to give it out for every, if they get a referral, they pass it off. Now, they don't have to give the money. Some people will just do that out of the bottom of their heart because they want to help other people, and the agent is so likable. But just teaching that agent, you need to ask that question of referrals to every client that you have. And if you ask them, hey, Mr. Agent, Miss Agent, have you asked for referrals with every client that you've sat down with? And they're all going to say no. And just ask them why not, and just push them in that direction. So that's another area. One of the areas on referrals then, and this is a little bit different. It's a little bit more intensive, but this very much comes from my experience in network marketing, is and this is not going to work for everyone, but you can teach, the agent can teach their clients how to get licensed and only use the license to get referrals. And so that's a different opportunity that comes across the plate. And then because they have the license, they can get a direct tie to the commission that is being earned. So if they pass on for referral, they get 20% and the agent gets 80%, but that 20% is well spent. And therefore no initial money has to come out of the agent's pocket to pay for the referral. They're just whatever comes in from that agent referral or from that client referral that has the license, they can go on the application 80-20. Client then makes some extra money. The agent then has a free lead source that is very motivated to get leads because they're going to put an extra $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 sometimes, maybe even more, depending on the clients they bring to the table, just for that referral. So that's a little more out of the box. It's a little bit more recruiting and network marketing, but it definitely works. And it's not something you'd bring up to every client. But the way that you would ask that to an agent is, well, out of curiosity, right now, I know you get, you generate most of your leads. Have you ever thought about, or do you have other agents that you work with that would love to leverage your knowledge and experience to do split business? That's one way. Actually, I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself, but have you ever thought of, or do you know of any clients that you have that would love to make some extra money by getting their license and working together to refer their network to you to become clients and you guys split business? That would be the way that you put that. I apologize. That's a better way. Does that make sense? Getting a license, having a client make extra money, get a license, do split business, pass off the referrals. Everyone good with that?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah.
The last one that I talked about is then just is hiring agents. So, are there agents that you work with that you would like to bring on and recruit to do split business for? That's another area. But all right, that's really the referral side. There's other things that you can do. There's lots of other systems of being able to generate referrals on that end. But the last area that I want to talk about in wrapping up of generating leads is then split business. The client one is one sense of they're splitting business, but it's you're bringing on a client to get a license to split business with. The other split business concept is finding places that already have books of businesses and then helping that agent cross-sell their book of business to the other lines that the agent is proficient in. So easiest one and easiest example is anybody that's doing life insurance or annuities, asking them out of curiosity, do you work with any P&C agents or agencies to generate leads and help them cross-sell their book of business? And most everyone's going to be like, no, I don't work with anybody. Again, why not? Have you tried it before? Has it not worked? What has been the issue, or have you never tried it? Most of them are going to be like they never tried it. Some of them may have tried some of it in the past, but super simple concept and idea is exactly going down that path of, well, PNC and setting up the premise is super easy because PNC agencies, they already have existing books of business, correct? Yes. Usually a PNC agent that has been around for at least a few years is going to have a book of business on the low end of 500 people, but usually around the 1,000 to 3,000 client range. So that's 1,000 people that have not been sold other product lines, because most PNC agencies don't do a lot of life insurance or annuities or other product lines because they're so focused on managing and servicing their book of business in the PNC side. So you can come in and say, hey, I would love to partner with you, help you create more income without doing really any extra work. And that's a great way to generate leads as well. And there are some things that we can do to get more involved. Like we have letters, we have things. So if you go into the band and go through the file that attachments, there's a file in there that says Momentum Program. That has a bunch of letters that we've created and things that agents can send out to their network to incite interest and say, hey, we do other product lines. So that's a really great concept. P&C agencies, health insurance agents or agencies are another good fit. And the vice versa, if you're talking to a health insurance agency and you're trying to bring on life and annuity side, partnering up in that area is great too. But let's see, Medicare agents are another good one because they usually focus only on Medicare, and they don't do the cross-selling a lot of times. So partnering up with an agent that can do the cross-selling, do final expense, do annuities, do financial planning. Those are great people to touch base as well. So lots of different opportunity in that area as well of doing split business and making that happen. That's another lead source that agents aren't often thinking about because they're very much ingrained on, I need to find a lead vendor and purchase leads. And there's a lot of agents in this day and age that have kind of lost the art of developing their own network and their own center of influences. So by giving those areas, those are some phenomenal information that you all can share with agents to answer that question of how are you going to get me in front of more leads. And even if they don't ask the question, having those consulting conversations of helping them grow their business and helping them make more money, if you can be the one to provide answers or say that you have those answers, then that is going to bring them closer to you than anybody else, because there's not a lot of other people that are spending that time actually asking the questions, because they're usually just pointing them towards lead vendors and things like that, but not actually doing the consulting of, well, tell me more about your business. Tell me more about your practice. What have you done that's been successful? What have you done in the past that has not been successful? And then coming up with solutions and answers to help them actually grow their book of business with some of those different lead sources that we have access to, or the knowledge that you now have to be able to share that with. So before we do a review, any questions that anybody has on anything that we went over? Anything that pops into your brain, anything that you want to know more about?
With the split business concept, would we be making recommendations of agents or agencies, or just sharing the kind of concept with them and then leave that up to them, or both? Or how have you seen that approach being most successful?
Up to you and how far you want to go, but I mean, it's super simple. So for example, if I was talking to an agent and I brought up the PNC concept, and let's say that they are Debbie, what city are you in?
You're in Schaumburg or something.
San Diego.
San Diego. All right, so here we go. You can do it super easy. Let's see, San Diego, California. Auto and home insurance agencies. And I'm going to go to, so you can go through it and look through the list. The easiest thing to do is just look on the maps. So go to maps. All right, here we go. I've got, Geico, Einhorn Insurance Agency, State Farm, Allstate Agency. This looks like another independent place. I mean, there's their phone numbers, their websites. There's Farmers, Richard Turner Insurance. What does Richard Turner do? He speaks Spanish. So he does a little bit of life, but I wouldn't be scared away by that, just asking the question, because it's probably pretty basic. Ooh, he does have annuities on here. So I have this phone number, and you can just show them, hey, this is how I found this person. Contact them, ask the question, see if they're how much life insurance and annuity business that they're doing, if they're looking for a partner on that side. So that's one area. Another, if you're looking for P&C shops, you guys can save this website. So it's called calculateme.com. Watch where I go. I'm going to scroll down to list of local car insurance agencies. So let's do Illinois. Let's do Schaumburg. Don't put in the, your zip code. That's going to start running a quote basically, but you're just going to look down here and you're going to find the city. So let's see, Schaumburg car insurance. There we go. All right, here you go. Here's a list of agents, phone number, address. If it's highlighted blue, that means that that is a hyperlink to their website. So here's Zach Youngblood. He's actually in our CRM system. I actually know who Zach is. But Zach, here's his office phone number. There's his email. There's his address as well. You can FINRA check him. You can give him a call directly and find information. Here's, let's see, that's Farmers. If you're seeing multiple carriers, that usually means that they are independent. So this one does not have a hyperlink because it's not blue. So I'm just going to Google that place. I mean, they don't even have a website. But they work with Mercury. They have a phone number. And they don't even have on there that they potentially even do life insurance. But super simple like that. That's again, hold those tools close to you, say, hey, I can show you, would love to earn a contract kind of idea. And they understand the business, so, and that you're not there to give information for free, but would love to support them. But does that make sense? Everyone write down that, I would bookmark this website, Calculate Me. That took, it was a 3-minute activity, and I already identified a bunch of different places that they can call and ask that question of, hey, do you guys do life insurance? Would you like to partner with somebody? I can help you do more life insurance and annuities than you've ever done in the past, and go from there. So does that answer the question, David?
Yes, thank you.
It's up to you on the, as a consultant, of the level that you want to go down and how deep you want to, in detail you want to take them. Sometimes you can just give them directions. Other times they're really good agent, you want to try and earn their business, then you can spend a little bit more time with them. Any other questions? Anything that we went over before we do a review, and then we jump off. All right, if there are any questions, just chime in. The other thing I want to ask too is, in what we discussed, and this is, you don't have to give me a false answer. Do you actually think that some of this information would be useful in you being able to earn an agent's business?
100% yes.
Good. Anybody else think the same, or?
Oh yeah, I think without a doubt. I mean, if you can start the conversation and then move into this, whether they even ask the question or not, you can go on the offensive and say, I want to help you grow your book and start to go down the path you can start to demonstrate value and really pull them in.
That is a great point as well. You don't have to just wait for someone to ask the question. You can tell someone, hey, we actually help agents cross-sell their book of businesses, grow their book of businesses, get more referrals, get in front of more qualified prospects. And we have a few techniques that could work to be able to help do that. Would love to have another conversation with you. And if I'm able to do that, Mrs. Agent, would I be able to earn a carrier contract from you? Like, would you be willing to work with me for that? So there's another avenue that you guys can go down to earn an agent's business, because that's what everything that we're training on within these meetings is information for you to be able to pivot to and have that conversation so that you can ask them and provide, that you can provide value and ask the agent to give them a carrier contract. So super important on that side. Any other questions? All right. There's no other questions. Then again, quick review. And I'm going to ask you guys, someone asked that question, what were the 4 areas that we went over to be able to answer that question super simply? So what was the first one that we went over?
Vertical marketing opportunities.
Yep. So that was your question, David. Other vertical marketplaces, that's number 1. Number 2.
Leads.
Yep, the lead vendors themselves. So download that list on Band. You can send that over to them. That's number 2. All right. Anybody else but David?
Ask for referrals.
Yep. So asking for referrals. And in asking for referrals, we went over a few different ideas. We went over the emergency contact concept. We also went over paying clients for referral fees that are not licensed. And then the third area we went over actually having a client tell them to get a license so that they can actually do split business and earn commission off the referrals that they give as well. Those are the 3 areas we talked about referrals. And then the last one that we just discussed.
Calculate me.
Calculate me is one way to find it, but the category would be split business. Yeah, so the category would be split business, just having that conversation of, do you work with any places that have existing books of businesses that you're doing the cross-selling on? So health insurance agents, P&C agents, Medicare agents, things like that. And showing them where to find something. We went over Calculate Me because P&C agencies are the most notorious for not doing other lines of business that the agents that we're working with are doing. And we can show them where to find those people. So those are 4 great areas. There's a bunch of other ones, but that would be something, write those down, keep those in the back of your brain. Teaching them how to do other vertical lines, showing them the lead vendor list, getting referrals, and doing split business. Those are 4 areas of how you can answer the question of how are you going to get me in front of more qualified prospects, and you're going to have a consulting conversation, seeing which one of those paths are going to make more sense for that agent and provide that value to what is the end goal of why we're doing that?
Helping them to make more money and get in front of more qualified prospects.
That's them, but what is our end goal of why we're sharing that with them?
Showing value to get contracts.
Exactly.
Get contracted,
Yes, because what I don't want to see happen with everyone is you guys spend time with agents and give them all this wonderful knowledge and free information, but nobody earns a contract because then they're just they're getting the milk for free without buying the cow. But hopefully those things are helpful. I've got nothing else besides, well, actually, let me ask. I know there's a few of you that were on the webinar yesterday. I apologize to you guys. I do not, well, I know what happened with Alyssa. I unfortunately did not, we had an email mix-up that I sent her an email that she never received for the panel invitation for yesterday. So Alyssa, our nationwide specialist on long-term care, was not even aware that she should have been on, and she was already in something else. So that was my apologies. Hopefully everyone got some good information from it. Anyways, we are going to have her back on at another time to go over some things in a little bit more depth, because that was if you guys didn't notice, hopefully you guys didn't, but too many people noticed, but that was very much on the cuff. I put that information together in 5 minutes. So I apologize for that yesterday. We're usually more on point with the webinars that we're doing, but we'll bring Alyssa back on another time to talk about long-term care. Any other comments for those that were on the webinar? I would definitely follow up with the any agents that you potentially did invite. And that is a webinar that is on our YouTube channel as well. So feel free to send that out to other people, and you can talk to them about the Long-Term Care Act and things of that nature. So anything on that end with the webinar? Or everyone good?
No, I think you described the situation.
Yes. Well, because I know you were on, David, and was that at least was there some information that you were able to pull from that was helpful?
Yeah, I know. I think that I had read about it. I just kind of forgot exactly what Washington State had done. I did remember that. It more reminded me of what I had read before about what they were doing there. And I'm sure it probably was good information for people who, like me, who needed to be reminded, and how it might be expanding. I didn't know what other states were doing, so that wasn't helpful. I mean, I live in Illinois. I didn't know that Illinois had started. I hadn't read anything about them starting a process yet either. So
talks are happening right now. So I mean, there's nothing signed yet, but yeah, there's, because we had out of everyone that was on, we only had a handful of people that were aware of it. So this is expressing a good opportunity for everyone that's here. That if you're not talking to any agents that you're working with about long-term care, use the Washington CARES Act and potential regulations that are coming down the pipeline as a reason for you to have that conversation, because yeah, there's some radical changes that could happen in the future, and the long-term care industry and sales of long-term care is a big opportunity for agents, because many of them are not selling long-term care. So talking about that vertical market conversation, if they're talking about generating more leads and getting in front of more potential clients, or cross-selling the current clients that they have, using long-term care as a means to do that is a phenomenal conversation right now of touching base with agents, because I mean, there's so many agents that just don't even sell those types of policies. The next webinar that we're having, not next week, but the week after, is on the ancillary product line. So another good opportunity of, talking about cross-selling. Most of the, just point blank, with the agent distribution that we currently have, there are almost none of them that are selling ancillary products. So this is another good webinar that for information. We're going to have Brad Coffin on from Mutual of Omaha. He's going to teach on the ancillary product line, and we have the carriers, we have the products. They're super easy to sell. They put more money in agents' pocket. This is going to be another good one that if you can inviting agents to, I already have it on our LinkedIn page. I'll share it on a post and I'll invite everyone to it as well, so that you can start inviting other people to that webinar also. But those are the things that are coming up. In the meantime, I hope everyone has, if we don't talk today or tomorrow, everyone have a phenomenal weekend. Debbie, don't talk about what you're doing for the weekend and how the activities that you're going to be doing outside and things like that. We don't want to hear it.
Okay.
But
Just know it involves water and waves and sand.
yeah, I figured as much. Maybe my kids and I, we all need to do a boondoggle. Had nothing going on. Has anyone heard that terminology?
No.
A boondoggle is where you take an adventure like off the cuff, like spontaneously, and you go some other place than where you're at for a short period of time. So that's I mean, with having 5 kids, it's hard to do a boondoggle. But it is a real thing. Boondoggle, a work or activity that is wasteful or pointless but gives the appearance of having value. Is how it's defined, but the way that it's usually talked about is basically taking a spontaneous doing something. Anyways, everyone have a phenomenal rest of their weekend. We'll be on next week, same bat time, same bat channel. Everyone have a great day. If you have any other questions, you know where to find us.
Thank you.
I'll post the
Thanks. Have a
recording
good
later today
day.
as well.
All right.
Okay.
Bye,
So,
everybody.
talk to you later, everyone.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.